Welcome to the video lecture on the course Op-Amp and Linear Integrated Circuit. In this session, we will be seeing the topic of active filters, and mainly we will be concentrating on the basics of the filters. What is a filter? The types of filters, the applications of the filters, and the responses of these particular filters. What is a filter? As the simple definition indicates, a filter is a circuit that is designed to pass a specified band of frequencies while attenuating all the signals outside that band. So, which indicates in simpler terms, the filter is nothing but it allows a certain amount of frequency signals or signals having some amount of frequency is selected and other frequencies are blocked. So we can call this as a frequency selective circuit. A filter is called as a frequency selected circuit. A particular set of frequencies have been selected and the signals of that particular set of frequencies are allowed to pass. Classification of filter. So depending upon the elements used in the filter circuit, the filters are classified as active filters and the passive filters. Elements used in passive filters are mainly the resistors, the capacitors and the inductors. Whereas in active filters, the active elements such as operational amplifier, transistors along with resistors and capacitors are used. So this type of element used detects the operating frequency range of the filters. Now moving on to the advantages of active filters over the passive filters. The first advantage here is the gain and frequency adjustment flexibility. So as the name as it indicates, gain and frequency adjustment. There is a flexibility to adjust the gain as well as the frequency. In case of a passive filter, there is no possibility of varying the gain of the filter or the frequency of the filter because we are using the passive elements. Since op-amp is used in the active filter, the gain can be easily adjusted in this particular case. So it is having a flexibility to adjust the gain and frequency. The next advantage of this is there is no loading problem either on the source side or on the load side, because op amps are used. The property of a op amp is that it has high input impedance and low output impedance. Because of this particular case, there is no problem on the source loading part or on the load loading part. So this is overcome by using the op amps. And the third advantage is the cost. Since active filters uses the operational amplifiers, there are variety of cheaper op amps, and the absence of inductors in the circuit, the cost is more economical what we can consider. Active filters are having these advantages over the passive filters what we can. Moving on to the applications or the examples of active filters. Active filters are most extensively used in field of communications and signal processing, what we is mainly considered. They are employed in one form or another in almost all sophisticated electronic systems. Taking the examples of radio, television, telephone, radar, space satellites and biomedical equipments are a few systems that employ active filters. Now moving to the commonly used filters. So there are five commonly used filters here which are mainly used. The first one is the low pass filter. The second one is the high pass filter. Third one is the band pass filter. Fourth one is a band reject or band stop filter. And the fifth one is the all pass filters. So we will see these particular filters in detail. What are these? Each of these filters uses an op amp as an active element and resistors and capacitors as the passive elements. The 7-4 type op amp works satisfactorily in the filter circuits. Op amps such as LM318 can be used to improve the filter performance through the increased slew rate and higher unity gain bandwidth. Moving on to the next part, so we will see what is this low pass filter, high pass filter in this particular phase. Now, here we are dealing with the frequency response. Now, what is frequency response? Frequency response is nothing but it is a plot of gain versus frequency, and the filters are mainly categorized on their frequency response. When we plot the gain versus frequency, we call this as a frequency response. Here we will see the frequency response of a low pass filter. So in this, a low pass filter has a constant gain from 0 Hz to the higher cutoff frequency fH. The gain is equal to 1, what we have considered here. Hence the bandwidth of the filter is the fH. And this is a ideal characteristics. All the frequencies between the range 0 and fH are allowed to pass to the output part, whereas the frequencies above a frequency range fH are blocked or attenuated. No frequencies are allowed to pass after the frequency fH, and for this reason we call it as a low pass filters. All lower frequency signals are allowed and all higher frequency signals are blocked. The counterpart will act on the high pass filter. All lower frequency signals are blocked and all higher frequency signals are allowed to pass. So we call it as the high pass filter. So mainly two bands. One is the pass band where frequencies are allowed to flow, and the stop band where frequencies are attenuated or blocked. So this is the ideal case where from the pass band to stop band there is a immediate blockage of the frequency. But practically, when we see a practical case here, no, this doesn't happen. There is a steep slope occurring, what we call it as a transition band. So in the transition band, no, or practical, the gain of the filter decreases as the frequency increases, and at f is equal to fH, the gain is down by 3 dB, and after fH it decreases at a higher rate as seen from the frequency response. After the end of transition band, the gain becomes 0. The decrease of the gain in stop band is called the gain roll off, or we call as the frequency decrease at a particular rate. The rate will be in decibels per decade, because the gain is expressed in decibels. The rate of decrease we term it in dB per decade. So for it can be of 20 decibels per decade, 40 decibels per decade, depending upon that. And the counterpart of it, the higher pass filter. So from frequency 0 to FL, the gain is equal to 0. All signals are blocked and only the higher frequency signals are allowed to pass this particular part. So this is about the low pass and high pass. To highlight at this particular thing, low pass and high pass. For a low pass filter, all lower frequency signals are allowed, and for a high pass filter, all higher frequency signals are allowed. The other frequencies are blocked. Moving on to the next part of the band pass and band stop filter. So in band pass filter, it has two stop bands and one pass band, where the frequencies in the range FL and FH are allowed to pass. The frequencies lying between the range FL and FH are allowed to pass, whereas the frequencies outside this range are blocked. That is, the frequencies from 0 to FL and FH to infinity are stopped or blocked, what we can see. So that's why we call it as a band pass filter. On the counterpart, it is a band stop filter, where it has two pass bands and one stop band. The frequencies with the range FL to FH, the frequencies are blocked and all other frequencies are passed. This is about the band stop filter. Seeing the practical case here, so this will be the practical case of the band pass filter. So one pass band in the band pass, two pass band in the band stop filter. And the last part of the filter is the all pass filter. So all pass filter is a one which is allowing all the signal frequencies. The all pass filter passes all the frequencies, but it produces a phase shift between the input and output. As can be seen from the waveforms, there is a phase shift occurring between the input signal and the output signal. The magnitude remains the same, only there is a phase shift between the two. The magnitude is here equal to 1. We call it as a unity magnitude. The frequency up to which the input output amplitudes remains the same is decided by the unity gain bandwidth UGB of the op amp. The characteristics is shown between the input and output. So this is about the all pass filter. So moving on to the last part of it, the types of filters. Normally, the filters are classified into mainly three types. First one is the Butterworth, the Chebyshev and Korff filter. So these filters are mainly classified depending upon the frequency response or the response of the filters. So Butterworth filter, in it has a flat pass band and flat stop band. So as we have seen in the frequency response of the filters, there are two bands. One is the flat band pass band and the stop band. So the response in both the bands are flat, and we call it as a flat Butterworth filter. In case of Chebyshev, the pass band, in the pass band it has a ripple, so the gain is not a constant, there is a variation in the gain, what we say that is a ripple. And the flat, it has a flat stop band. And in case of a Korff filter, the both bands have ripples, so it is not so constant. So there is a ripple factor available in this. So depending upon this particular response, the filters are classified. And normally for the ease of the design purpose, for ease of the analysis purpose, the flat pass band and flat stop band filters are used, that is a Butterworth filters are used. And for our part also, we will be concentrating on the design of the Butterworth filters. So thank you for watching this video.